What's up, everybody? We're on a podcast now. I'm Alex. In this video, we got to talk about Hollow Knight Silksong. Today was the day, and boy, did they deliver, right? New trailer, get a little bit of info there in terms of, kind of the size of this game, the enemies. About a jump, by the way, of like 30, 40, 50 enemy variety versus, the last game. And then over 40 unique boss encounters. That one kind of depends on which bosses you count in the original Hollow Knight. But, pretty beefy, okay? This is going to be, I think, a pretty big game, and obviously it got the date for September 4th. So it's honestly unreal that this has been for the longest time kind of the main game that you talk about, the clown makeup, and you talk about, will it ever release? To be honest with you, I feel like there's been more games in this era that have deserved the skepticism versus Hollow Knight. And ultimately, as we got from Jason Schreier today, like, there was really never anything to be worried about. His article, it was, I guess, fine, but I mean, overall, it's kind of like nothing. Why did it take so long? Because they were working on it, because they're perfectionists, because when they come up with an idea, they sketch something that has to end up in the game. And they said in that interview that, hey, they could have been working on this game for 15 years if they just kept going. They eventually just have to stop. Like, they literally just have to stop themselves from working to get to this kind of like fine-tuning period that they've been in for the last like year and a half, right? Another thing is they've kept the studio small. This is an incredibly small team, and they've had the funds to do that, right? Like, they never had to worry about anything in terms of money, and they never had to really bulk up. They didn't want to bulk up, right? Because of the kind of, hey, we don't want to delegate. These people, I think from the purest extent, just want to make video games. And I honestly very much respect that. That's pretty much what we got out of the Jason Schreier, huge report, of today. But the game is looking so freaking good. It doesn't have a price. You can wish list it. Obviously it's on Game Pass, so I'll be keeping an eye on the price as we go. But I mean, September 4th, by the way, this just continues to stack because next week is unbelievably packed. And then the week after now, actually, with this game, Hell Is Us is that same week. Chronos The New Dawn is the day after. For me personally, I'm getting Hollow Knight, and then the day after is Chronos for me. So it's like, man, it is an interesting stretch these next, like, really 14 days. And then as for two other kind of smaller things, number one, there's not going to be any reviews going live before the game comes out. I've seen, and honestly, this is kind of, I think, classic from these people, I've seen journalists kind of complain about this. They didn't want to do it because of the backer thing. They wanted to give this to the people that backed them all those years ago, and so they're not going to be giving this game out early. It sounds like they are going to give it out like that day, maybe the day before, whatever. Critics will get the game, and then they can post a review, whenever, but they're not going to be able to play it before the backers of the game. And I really, I see some different sites talking about like disappointment and is that right, is that wrong? It's a pretty easy answer to me. It's the right thing to do, okay? You honestly, this original game, Hollow Knight, sold 15 million units. It sold 12 million units in the last 6 years, okay? It doesn't really need help. I think this game is going to be unbelievably big. It'll reach the top of the charts, even against, by the way, all this competition. I have honestly no doubt about it, really. The trailer was viewed like 2.5 million times, just in the first maybe like 12 hours of it being out. So I think this is going to be an unbelievably massive game. They don't need, IGN to give it a 9, in order to like win anybody over. Yeah, I mean, okay, maybe there will be some people, but again, I think just kind of like priorities, they're giving it to the people that honestly deserve it. And I can respect that a lot, just, point blank. And the only other thing is DLC. So they mentioned, I think at the end of the Schreier interview, they are planning to add to it, whether it's like months down the line, whether it's years down the line. They do plan to add to this game. Now, does that mean much to be honest? And in fact, they kind of say that. They say like, well, that's the plan now, and then hopefully we can deliver some of that as we go forward here. And in reality, it's like, well, if you recall, Silksong was once DLC for Hollow Knight, and then it just got too big to the point that it actually reached the size, if not got bigger than Hollow Knight, and they decided to pull it and then, just work on it as the next game instead of DLC. So we have done this before. I will absolutely not be expecting DLC for Silksong. If we get it, great. If we get it 2 years from now, great. But I am not going to make that mistake, to expect that there's going to be DLC. Let's play this, and then let's see, maybe we get a sequel in 15 years. Maybe it's DLC in 15 years. Who knows? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.